Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Shannon, and this is Starseed Evolution, bringing the wisdom and insight of the cosmos to you. I'm grateful that you're listening. Hi, I'm here today with Kristof Lambregts of Belgium. He's a sound healer, and we recently collaborated together on a sound healing and meditation with Reiki, and the intention of the work that we did together was bringing the healing energy of the full moon. I'd like to share this interview with you now and hope you enjoy it. How long have you been doing sound healing?
Well, for me, sound has always been a big part of my life, actually. So it's hard to say when I started sound healing as a journey. But I've started playing music when I was 14, 15 years old. But even before, I had a very strong connection to sound and music. As a kid, I've always been scared from heavy sounds. They had a huge impact on my life.
Okay.
But also beautiful sounds. They were so strong. I had such emotions I could have with certain music, but also with just sound. So it's always been a big part of my life. When I started playing music, it started to make more sense. During that journey, gradually, I've been diving deeper into music, deeper into sound, and then yoga and meditation came on my path. And then, like naturally, I was drawn to nada yoga and sound meditation. And yeah, that really made such a big change for me in my own meditation practice. Because it felt so right, it felt so natural, that I started following this path completely. And of course, as a musician, when I started to teach yoga and meditation myself, right away I was into sound meditation, and I started to implement sound healing and later on into my practice. Yeah.
When you were a kid and you were starting on the journey of music, what were the instruments that you were drawn to initially when you came into it?
I started playing bass guitar. Uh, I had some friends. One was a drummer, the other one was a guitarist, and they were like, "Hey, let's start a heavy metal band."
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Yeah, sounds like a great idea. I should learn how to play an instrument." So the bass guitar wasn't chosen yet. So that was when I started practicing playing the bass guitar.
Did
Yeah.
you move into any other instruments before, like moving into like the sound healing, like with the crystal bowls and gongs and those types of instruments?
Yeah. So after playing the bass guitar, I went studying music, and there I studied like historical woodwind instruments, just like bagpipe and some flute types that are regular here, Central European, old instruments basically. And then I switched over to the double bass.
Oh, okay.
So went back to the bass. So
Okay.
and that's what I studied back then. And then later on, singing bowls. I started with Himalayan singing bowls, really to enhance the shavasana at the end of my yoga class. And that's how I rolled into it. I
Okay.
noticed, wow, this is strong. I have so many musical options, but also energetically,
That's
this
awesome.
energy, this, yeah, really, yeah, it really took me over that. And then I started studying sound healing
Okay.
as a healing modality, as a tool. And yeah, that's when it exploded. So,
Do you
mm,
teach yoga currently?
yeah,
Okay.
that's only 2 classes a week.
Okay.
Yeah,
What kind of yoga do you teach?
I teach very classical hatha yoga.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
What
So,
school did you go to for music?
so you have like these. I think it's the same in the US. We have institutes that teach music, just like music school.
Got you.
It's not like a high school or the normal school where you go, but it's extra on top of the normal school, and
Oh,
they just teach music. They teach
okay.
music history. You get the history. You get playing the instrument. You get the theory behind music, like scores, composing.
So if we move into like sound healing part, when you do the either teaching online, like through Insight Timer, or when you do your recordings for your tracks, how do you choose the different instruments in those tracks?
I always start with an intention, like you say, there's a certain topic. And then I take some time to really feel how I can translate what I want to say in the
Mm-hmm.
topic through sound, because I rarely use words on my live streams or on my tracks. I try to, um, yeah, explain is not the right word, but I want to bring my idea through music and not through sound. So I use it as a way of speech, basically. It's a
Mm-hmm.
universal language to me. So I really feel into what do I want to say and how am I going to say it. And that's what will decide which instruments I'm going to use. If I'm using multiple instruments, what I do too, then I try to decide, okay, which is going first and why. Yeah, well, most people have around 20 minutes of time they need to really calm the mind. First part, I always go into silence, into relaxation, try to silence the mind, to silence the monkey mind. And that's usually where the core of the journey is going to expand from. It's going to happen from there. And then in the end, I move upwards again in the energy to prepare people to reawake or to, wake up again and return to their bodies. You can use many instruments for many purposes because the way you play them and how you make
Right.
them sound together is important too.
Say you start with the intention and then you begin. Do you also like allow the instruments to kind of share with you, like which one of them wants to come in, or, is there like an intuitive part to it for you too?
When I tune into the intention, I often start to hear certain colors of sounds, and that's mostly like, okay, this color of sound suits these instruments, and that's
Mm.
how I feel into using this instrument or that instrument.
And then do you also experience like the feeling of it while you're doing it too? Whether it's during a live session or you're creating a track with a certain intention, do you yourself also like experience the intention of that music with the instruments as well?
Yeah, in some way. I feel the energy and I feel the intention and I experience it, but I do not experience it as people who are receiving this because I'm in an active state. I have to feel on where do I switch harmonics, where do I switch singing bowls, how am I going to play it?
So
It's
you
not
have to be
planned. It's not like music.
conscious during it.
Yeah, yeah. I cannot just zone out. Um,
You can't drift off
I
with
still
it.
have to
Like, oh,
play. Yeah,
wait.
yeah, absolutely. And also think a few steps ahead, because like, okay, where am I going with this story? Like, for
Uh-huh.
example, I'm on the Himalayan singing bowls,
Uh-huh.
and I'm playing grounding tones, but I want to go higher in energy. I have to
Oh.
plan this because if I switch chords, like I'm playing certain
Oh.
notes, when I move to the next one, I have to take a few steps in between to not make it sound dissonant. So I'm consciously planning
Gotcha.
to, much like now I'm thinking, what are my next words going to be? It's
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing, but still I'm really into the zone and into the energy, not thinking about anything else. I'm experiencing it. I'm experiencing the emotions, feeling the collective,
Uh-huh.
so things like that. But then I'm the one who is transmitting it or translating it.
Right. Right.
That's how it feels, and I'm yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
complex.
See, I think it's much like when you are doing a spoken meditation,
Mm-hmm.
you're also still speaking, still doing your thing, and you have a different place to be. You're a space holder at that moment and not a participant.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because a lot of times what happens, like when we work together and you sent the track, like I'll listen to the track. Well, I listened to it once the first time just to feel like the scope of the whole thing. And then when I sat down with the intention of channeling the meditation, like what happens is there's like it's almost like a movie screen that comes up and it shows me like the journey we're taking. And so what I do is just write down what I'm seeing basically. And so I have to stay conscious, right? I can't go into it until afterwards. Then I can take the journey again by listening. I already have written everything down. So then I can also then participate in the energy afterwards.
I really, really liked how your words fitted the journey that was the intention that I created with the singing bowls. So it's really beautiful to see how this works out and how there is real connection between what you felt
Yeah.
and what's the music and what's the intention. And yeah, it's really lovely.
Yeah, because well, so what I want to say, like going into like the track that we worked on, the theme that we picked was healing with full moon or with moonlight. And so what we did is Kristof did the sound healing part first and then sent me the track. And then I sat with it and listened to the energy of what he created. And then from that, then wrote the moon journey for the meditation. When you sat down to create it, what was that process like for you in connection with the energy of the moon and bringing that through the instruments? Like, how did you choose this? Because you worked with the crystal singing bowls, is that right?
Yeah.
And how did they, talk to you to like translate like moon energy? So if you want to talk about that process.
Moon energy is always such a powerful energy to me. Why the crystal singing bowls? It really came instantly. I've which was funny because I've been going through a period where I've been more drawn to the Himalayan singing bowls.
Uh-huh.
And when we were talking about the intention, the first thing that came to my mind is like the full moon. It's about clarity. It's about light. It's not. It's like putting things into a light, looking at it from other perspectives. So that's what came through me, and I really felt that the singing bowls were the best instruments to tell this story. They have a light energy. The
Mm-hmm.
energy of the crystals itself is wonderful. And I can really move through it, almost like liquid light moving
Mm-hmm.
from one tone to another. That kind of blend gives me, from an auditive perspective,
Mm-hmm.
gives me like this beautiful blend that you have in the moonlight when you look outside. The things are clear, but they're different. And that really spoke to me when
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this intention.
Yeah, because the clear tones of the crystal singing bowls like really came through. And that's kind of how I also see I guess, the energy of what the moon asks of us from a spiritual, like a metaphorical perspective on our journey is, you know, to most clearly see it, it's dark outside. And then when the moon is full, it's its brightest. So it's bringing that illumination like on our path, into darker spaces and trying to bring clarity. So it's that journey. So in this track, it's cool because it's both sound and then the journey of the meditation. And then the other thing that I did was so infused it with Reiki, which has that same light energy. And so, yeah, it is fun to create those two together and allow the moon to talk, both through sound
Absolutely.
and words and
Yeah,
and energy.
absolutely.
So, talk about a little bit your business at Akshara. sound healing? Where did that, how did you choose the word akshara? And then what other kinds of offerings do you do through your business?
That's a great question. Akshara is it's a Sanskrit word. It comes from the Bhagavad Gita,
Mhm.
and it means the imperishable, the never-ending, actually. And it comes from Akshara Brahma Yoga,
Okay.
which means the imperishable truth that is yoga. So to me, this spoke most because it's often referred to as the mantra Om as well,
Okay.
which is basically the sound of creation, the sound that is always there, that's always moving. And that was so beautiful to have this akshara and om combined into my music and my purpose with sound. So that's why I chose the name akshara.
Okay.
And then, yeah, with akshara, my business, I create sound healing sessions. I host sound baths for groups. I do this one-on-one as well,
Okay.
both online and offline. That's mostly what I do now. I'm also setting up a community. It's actually already there, the community,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going to teach everything about sound healing.
Oh,
Create
okay.
course where you can learn how to play these instruments, how to use sound as a healing modality, how to host sound baths, and everything's all going to happen there. So that's
Oh, nice.
for soon, something nice for soon. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be great. How long have you been teaching on Insight Timer?
I think for 2 years now,
Okay.
something like that. And I've been really getting into it from March last year. So it
Okay.
would be about a year that I've been really working on Insight Timer.
Okay. And how often do you offer the live sessions?
That depends on how busy I am.
Uh-huh.
I, I I love to host live streams,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a period that I did one every week.
Uh-huh.
Now it's more like one every other week, so
Okay.
that's about 2 or 3 live streams each month.
Okay.
But often life gets busy, and it's a little less. Sometimes it's a little more. So
Yeah. And
I
that makes
don't
sense.
don't want to stress out too much about it. And
So how do you get ready for a live session? Whether it's, oh, do you choose a theme or an intention ahead of time, or do you choose it like the day of, or how does that work for you?
I usually plan it ahead, so I can make very clear in the announcements and the description of the live session what it's going to be about. Yeah, most of the time I really plan out some intention ahead,
Okay.
something that's relevant for the time of year. I really like to do sessions around the seasons. We just had solstice,
Uh-huh.
and so I like to move with that as well, and with the energy of the seasons, translating certain topics toward chakras, and I work around these chakras is something I do very often as well. I really like to plan, and if I can, I plan them ahead. Like I did the chakra series where I did all of the chakras in
Oh, that's
each
nice.
separate series. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then one long session to balance them all. So it
To
becomes
integrate everything.
yeah, so it becomes like a real yeah, something to follow, something to be there, and I believe that those are the lives that also have big impacts for people who are
Mhm.
showing up week after week and yeah, doing the work, doing the meditation.
So I just want
Yeah,
to thank Kristof for being with us today and for sharing his journey and his sound healing with us. And it's been awesome being able to collaborate with him on this track. And thank you so much for being with me today.
thank you, Shannon. Really loved our collaboration. It's really great, and also thank you for this interview and having the opportunity to be in your podcast. It's really beautiful. And I wish everyone a wonderful experience during the meditation.
I hope you enjoy the sound healing track that we created with the crystal bowls, the guided meditation, and the Reiki. Have a beautiful journey. ringing sound of vibration awakens you, calling you outside. You feel the sound moving in and around your whole body. And as you step outside in the night sky, you follow the invitation of the energy and follow the sound. You find yourself walking through an enchanted desert where the night sky radiates with the light of 1,000,000 stars, each one singing your name. A coyote howls and yips in the distance with excitement, feeling the light of the stars just as you do. As you walk, you find a hand-carved granite bench along the path in the desert. And as you sit upon the bench, the ringing grows louder until overhead you see the moon placed gently in the middle of the night sky among all the stars. You greet the moon with a smile and open your heart. And as your heart opens, you take in the energy of the moon and her healing light, allowing it to move through your whole body. With each breath you take, you breathe in the song of the stars, the energy of the moon, and the openness of your heart to greet this world now. You feel the vibration of each of your cells begin to match the vibration of the moon, coming into alignment. All the parts of you that seem dark or hidden, finding a place among the stars, helping you remember who you are. All parts of you of vital energy to the world, just as the moon shines at night, so too do you. And as the vibration of the moon begins to grow in intensity and light around you, you realize that the moon is humming your name throughout all time, weaving it into the cosmos. You close your eyes and receive this healing light and sound from the moonlight. And the moon gently whispers in your ear, "Among the light throughout the night, there is no one so lovely as thee." You look up and see that the moon is smiling over you, and she winks, and you smile in return. May the healing light of the moon continue to bless you all through the night and into your dreams. Good night, dear friend. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I'm Shannon, and you're listening to Starseed Evolution. Thank you again for our guest, Kristof, for sharing his sound healing journey with us as well. And I'll provide links in the show notes below to Kristof's website and his Insight Timer teacher page. You can also join me live on Wednesday evenings on Insight Timer Live, and I'll place a link in the show notes below to a list of the events that are coming up. I'm grateful for sharing our sound healing and meditation with you, and we'll see you next time. Wishing you a beautiful day. Namaste.